what I've got for you today. Okay, you might recognise this tag. This is Does, and this is his book, and still available. I'll put something in the description where you can get it. Does the first 20 years. Lovely little embossed throwy there. He's got a beautiful throw. Everything he does is so neat. Does. He's a real incredible writer. I'm sure you're all fans. So without further ado, let's get stuck in. So second edition, 2019. Oh look, it's numbered. Also, there's some 800 available, and this is 64 apparently. So we've got some nice so this is old stuff. I don't know if it's got a date on it anyway. Has it got a date on it? I can't see a date on it. Look at that. He doesn't do stuff like that anymore. This is the sort of stuff you do in your black book when you're kicking off. Yeah, 98. Okay, let's have a look. I think it's all going to be on its side. This. It's all going to be in landscape. That's a pain. I have to move things around. There we go. There you go. That's his earliest outline. You see, there's hope for everybody. Interesting. Yeah, very recognisable 90s style. 97 he's got in there. Interesting watching him trying to find. It's always interesting watching a writer trying to find style. You know, trying to find where his style is. These are really 90s pieces, these ones. Anybody from back then would recognise these as... This is how we were designing pieces back then. So interesting. No, he painted that one. He painted that one there. A Does character. Does obviously doesn't do characters. Again, these are really 90s pieces. That one's so recognisable as a 90s piece. Experimenting with style, trying to find a bit of style. Still very generic, obviously, because we all are generic until we find a bit of individual style. Whether that be in the actual sort of dynamics of our letters or whatever, or characters, or in our technique. See, his technique's very standard there as well. He's got a sort of inner key line, classic, you know, drop shadow, all that. It's very very traditionally done. Yeah, this is all very, look at the, you know, the tagging style's very traditionally done. Should probably fly through a bit, shouldn't I? Because I love the fill. Look how ornate that fill is. That's very detailed fill though. Interesting little character. He's working hard. I wonder if these were his best ones, or if he's put everything in there. Nice. A few bits of. Is that where he's got nicked? Can't see. Anyway. Great. I mean, they're so recognisable, these letters. I've seen an E like that thousands of times, and anybody who started back then, you know, or started in the 80s and came up from the 90s will recognise the shapes of these letters, because at some point we all did them. Oh, see, he's got a sort of spaghetti style there, which he's painted again. Not very keen on that character. He clearly wasn't the most gifted character artist. Play to your strengths, right? You know, he recognised he wasn't, and so he went in a different direction. Interesting, he's played with the 3D there. He sent the 3D off in different directions. Yeah, interesting styles he's playing with here. He's playing with a bit of, what would you call that? Can't remember what it's called. Anamorphic. Probably not the right word. There we go. More style. Yeah, you see, so you're not seeing any consistent style at the moment, because it's constantly moving, because he's constantly trying to, but that really is the strength of somebody. This is why the guy is so successful, because he didn't stay put doing the same piece over and over and over again. He's tried loads and loads of different things. Tried different mediums. This is a biro piece he's done here. Biro outline. And look at that, he's tried a much more sophisticated 3D on that one. Multi-plane 3D. So he's starting to work in ballpoint. He did some ballpoints earlier, and now he's back in ballpoint. Ballpoint, by the way, is one of the best mediums you'll ever have. When people want to start off, particularly, you know, when you start doing, when you start the Blackbook, where you want to do it really sophisticated, you want to get loads of amazing pens and everything. The fact is, you'll get effects from ballpoints that, you know, you'll spend less than £1 on a few of them, and you'll get great effects. Do lovely fade, but he's still doing it here. That's a ballpoint. Oh, I love that. Bit of texture there. That's a ballpoint he's used for that. Do little fades and stuff, because you can control the ink flow really easy on a ballpoint. You can't on a fountain pen. Any kind of ink pen that has a flow, can't control the flow. Ballpoints got a very controllable ink flow. Look at this, you'd never recognise that as a Does style. And there it is. So he's really starting to step his technique up now. Now he's getting really good. This is getting really good now. He's starting to understand flow and dynamic much more, because he's done a lot of jamming. Now it's getting really good. Now he's really getting good. This is like quality at this point. And now we're starting to get into recognisable modern Does style. I mean, that is beautiful. It's really beautiful. So he's painting and he's drawing at this point. He's got to a level where he's now, let's call him an expert. He's an expert by this point. He wasn't an expert back here. This is him finding it. This is still him finding his feet. He's really good at this point. You know, you can see him finding his feet. By this point, he is an expert. And this is starting to get really, really beautiful. The dynamics that he's using, the energy of his letters, his flow and everything. It's getting very exciting now. Look at that. Oof. I like that even more. Absolutely beautiful. Stepping it up a gear. He's starting to put colour in his black outlines. He's making sure he's working with shadow. So he's creating depth and layer. His fills are really lovely. Gorgeous colourway. Look at that as a colourway. Beautiful. Sort of mustard grey and green. Very nice. Simple colourway as well. Notice how many colours he's using. So he's using pinks and purples. Variations of. Putting them together really beautifully. Then he's using a really light blue. And a sort of bluey grey. What would you call it? No, it's a bluey grey, isn't it? Bluey grey. And a black. And that's it. He's keeping it nice and simple. Don't be tempted into using too much colour. Same again there. Look at that. That is an absolutely gorgeous piece. So what's he using there? He's using... Is that an orange? Orange into yellow. They're so similar anyway. Then he's got sort of warm greys, purples. And obviously uses the white and the black. The white and the black don't count as colours anyway. They're monochromatics. So keeping the colours as simple as possible. Another absolute beauty there. Gorgeous. Beautiful. Sort of monochromatic red. Red, black, white, grey. Some of the most powerful colours you can put together. There's a fiery one. Beautiful. Again. Reds, yellows, whites, black. That's gorgeous. And he's doing that in 2008. Same colours there. Gradations of grey as well. And by this point, he's gone beyond expert. He's a master now. Because he's painting and drawing all the time. Guarantee. Every day, he is doing this work. Every single day. Bear in mind, we saw his work through the 90s up until this point. So he's been at it about a decade by this point. I just want to show that a bit there. Because he's put this piece up there. Beautiful. Yeah, so you've got a decade plus of grafting it pretty much every day. Look at those three. Ooh, it's just delicious, isn't it? So good. I love black and whites. Absolutely love black and whites. Ooh, yeah. Again, that's a gorgeous colour combo. He's put a lovely pink and green together there. A warm grey. Then a black and white. Keep it simple. Don't go more than 3 colours together. And gradations of that colour. Because if you're going to put greens in like that, you can use a darker green, no problem. Because it all looks like the same green. It just looks like sort of a shadowed green. It's great the effects you can get. And he's used a tiny bit of blue, you know, tiny little highlights of blue in there as well. But not much. Less is more, right? Same again there. Look at those blues in the 3D. Blues in the 3D. Warm grey. Tiny bits of blue. Highlight. White. Black. Just yellows. Oh, I saw this. This is Meeting the Styles 2009. With, oh, what's his name? What's his name? Oh, can't remember. Amazing, amazing artist. It's annoying. It's always about names at this age. Oh, that's a nice little extra. Look, he signed it as well. Bless him. Nice one colour fill. Slight little fade on it. Bit of red. What is that? It's a sort of very light beige, isn't it? Another black and white, can never go wrong with him. Gorgeous. Gorgeous. I'm only halfway through. Can't complain about any of that, can you? Classic Blackbook, bit of love a bit of chaos. Very elaborate print work stuff here. This is when he's starting to get really detailed. Great. Really cool. I'm going to have to start flying through this because I'm running out of time. Love all that. Whoosh. Little bent up black book. Yeah, nice. He's painting that. Absolutely gorgeous. Great style. Beautiful. So he's starting to move above and beyond. He's starting to use a lot more effects, melting his letters and stuff. So what you're doing, what you're seeing is, you see him master every stage. He masters every stage, then he moves on. He doesn't stay there, he moves on. He keeps moving. It's what you do if you want to become a master. You can't stay still somewhere where you're comfortable. You've got to move on. Beautiful piece. Really elaborate, detailed piece. Yeah. Big wall. Big gigantic wall. Another big ornate piece there. Nice. Yeah, you can't stay put. Nowhere to hang your hat. You've got to keep moving. That's how you get this good. You keep moving all the time. Very Captain America, that, isn't it? Beautiful. So you're starting to work with sort of big overspray, unfilled lines, big soft lines, you know, stuff like that. This is when he starts to really kind of mash it up again. So he's moving on again. So you start to get this sort of wibbly wobbly effect in this stuff. Got big areas of negative space as well. All artists gravitate to negative space eventually. I've got more. I'm going to do part 2 on this.